Picture a country where the sea glows blue from space, with no McDonald's but hundreds of ancient ruins. It's a place where the unexpected is the norm. In Belize, you can dive into a 400-foot deep sinkhole in the morning, chat with locals in Kriol by noon, and sip coconut rum on an island with no cars by sunset. It's English-speaking, jungle-covered, reef-lined, and wildly underrated. Here are 20 facts that will change how you see Belize forever. Let's start with the most interesting ones. Don't go away now. Fact number 1. One of the least populated countries in the world. With a population of just over 400,000 people, Belize ranks as one of the least populated countries not only in Central America, but in the world. Spread across nearly 9,000 square miles, that works out to an average population density of about 17 people per square kilometer. This sparse population means vast areas of the country remain untouched and wild, including dense rainforests, mountain ranges, and hundreds of Cayes. Unlike urbanized nations, Belize offers room to breathe, literally, with fewer crowds and more access to unspoiled nature. In some rural villages and coastal zones, you can drive for miles without seeing another soul. This low density contributes to Belize's strong ecotourism appeal and its relaxed, uncrowded atmosphere. It also plays a role in preserving wildlife habitats, making the country a refuge for species that are under threat elsewhere. For travelers and expats alike, Belize offers the rare luxury of space in a world that's increasingly crowded. Fact 2. No McDonald's, no Starbucks, no KFC, and no one misses them. In a world where globalization often brings the same brands to every corner, Belize stands out as a rare exception. There are no McDonald's, Starbucks, KFC, or Burger King anywhere in the country. Instead, local food culture thrives with family-run diners, beachside shacks, and open-air markets serving rice and beans, fried jacks, tamales, stewed chicken, and fresh seafood. The absence of multinational chains hasn't hindered the country's appeal. In fact, it enhances its authentic, community-driven charm. Belizeans take pride in supporting local businesses, and visitors often find the cuisine more flavorful, affordable, and culturally immersive than fast food. You'll find creative twists on international dishes, often featuring fresh coconut milk, plantains, and hot peppers. Even in popular towns like San Ignacio or Plasencia, the focus remains on locally sourced ingredients and homemade flavors. For many travelers, skipping global chains means embracing the true flavors of Belize. And once you've tasted a fresh lobster grilled on the beach, you won't be thinking about a cheeseburger ever again. Fact 3. Belize is the only English-speaking country in Central America. Belize holds a unique position in Central America. It is the only country in the region where English is the official language. This stems from its colonial history as British Honduras, a former UK territory. Unlike its Spanish-speaking neighbors, Belizeans grow up speaking English in school, court, and government. However, that's just the surface. Over half the population speaks Belizean Kriol, a vibrant Creole language used in everyday life. Additionally, Spanish is widely spoken, especially in western and northern regions close to Mexico and Guatemala. Garifuna, Mopan, and Quechua Maya are also spoken by indigenous communities, reflecting the country's deep multicultural roots. The result is a dynamic linguistic mosaic where it's not uncommon to hear 3 or 4 languages in a single conversation. For travelers, it's both comforting and fascinating. Belize is at once familiar and entirely its own world. Fact 4. St. George's Caye Day, Belize's battle without blood. Every year on September 10th, Belizeans celebrate St. George's Caye Day, a public holiday that marks a pivotal moment in the nation's colonial history. In 1798, British settlers and African slaves in Belize successfully repelled a Spanish attempt to seize control during the Battle of St. George's Caye. What makes this battle extraordinary is that it was won without a single recorded casualty on either side. The confrontation took place near a small island called St. George's Caye, just off the coast of Belize City. It was a symbolic stand that reinforced British claims to the territory, despite Spain's earlier attempts to dominate the region. Today, The event is celebrated with parades, music, and reenactments, blending patriotic pride with Caribbean festivity. It kicks off the September celebrations, a month-long build-up to Belize's Independence Day on September 21st. In many ways, this bloodless battle became the emotional foundation for modern Belizean identity. Fact 5: a small economy with big potential. Belize may be small in size, but its economy is surprisingly diverse and evolving. Traditionally rooted in agriculture, the country relies heavily on the export of sugar, bananas, and citrus. These sectors are supported by agro-based industries and merchandising, which form the backbone of many local livelihoods. However, over the past 2 decades, tourism has emerged as a major economic driver, thanks to the country's lush rainforests, Maya ruins, and the world-famous barrier reef. Construction is booming in tourist hotspots, and the discovery of offshore oil reserves has introduced new economic possibilities, though these come with environmental concerns. Belize's GDP is around 1.35 billion USD, and its major trading partners include the United States, Mexico, Central American countries, and the European Union. The government supports a private enterprise model with efforts to encourage foreign investment while preserving local industries. Despite its limited scale, Belize's economy is agile and full of untapped opportunities for those willing to look beyond the mainstream. Fact 6: Belize's national animal is a tapir, and it's adorably weird. Belize's national animal isn't a jaguar or parrot. It's the Baird's tapir, affectionately called the mountain cow. This large, herbivorous mammal looks like a cross between a pig, a rhino, and an elephant, with a short, prehensile snout used to grab leaves and fruits. Despite its clumsy appearance, the tapir is incredibly agile in both forest and water and plays a key role in seed dispersal and forest ecology. Tapirs are shy, mostly nocturnal, and endangered in many parts of Central America, making Belize's strong conservation efforts all the more important. You might spot one in reserves like Cocksomb Basin or the Belize Zoo, which specializes in native species. The tapir was officially declared the national animal in 1981, the same year Belize gained independence, symbolizing strength, resilience, and peacefulness. Though not exactly majestic, the tapir is uniquely Belizean, odd, gentle, and unforgettable. In a world chasing lions and tigers, Belize chose something rare and deeply rooted in its ecosystem. Fact 7: Belize's independence and its founding father. Belize gained full independence from the United Kingdom on September 21, 1981, becoming the last British colony on the American mainland to do so. The journey to sovereignty was peaceful but politically complex, shaped by territorial disputes with neighboring Guatemala and internal debates about self-governance. The central figure in Belize's independence movement was George Cadle Price, who is revered as the father of the nation. He served as the country's first prime minister, taking office just days before independence on September 12, 1981. His leadership focused on nationalism, economic independence, and preserving Belize's multicultural identity. Belize chose to remain in the Commonwealth, with the British monarch as symbolic head of state, but governance is handled entirely by its own elected officials. To this day, Independence Day is a major national celebration filled with parades, music, and symbolic cultural events. For Belizeans, the date marks not just political freedom, but the affirmation of their unique identity on the global stage. Fact 8: The Belize dollar. Stability through simplicity. The official currency of Belize is the Belize dollar, BZD, which has maintained a fixed exchange rate of 2 BZD to $1 since 1978. This long-standing peg provides a sense of economic stability, especially for tourists and foreign investors who can easily calculate costs. The currency itself comes in colorful notes and coins, often featuring Queen Elizabeth II, national wildlife, or iconic landmarks. Most businesses in Belize accept US dollars interchangeably with Belize dollars, particularly in tourist-heavy areas, although change is typically given in BZD. The ISO 3166 code for Belize is BZ, and you'll see prices often listed with a BZ dollars, or simply a dollars, depending on context. Belize's currency policy is managed by the Central Bank of Belize, which works to maintain financial integrity and prevent inflation. For visitors, this dual currency friendliness makes transactions smooth and travel budgeting easier. In short, Belize offers the rare advantage of a tropical destination with financial transparency and simplicity. Fact 9. Belmopan, the capital born from a storm. Belmopan, the capital city of Belize, was established out of necessity after Hurricane Hattie devastated the original capital, Belize City, in 1961. The hurricane caused massive flooding and destruction, prompting the government to relocate inland for safety and continuity. By 1970, a brand new city was officially inaugurated and named Belmopan, a combination of Belize and Mopan, referencing the nearby Mopan River. Located about 50 miles inland, Belmopan sits at a safe elevation and is one of the smallest capital cities in the Americas by population. It was designed with wide streets, governmental buildings, and a layout meant to withstand tropical storms. Despite its administrative importance, Belmopan has a modest, quiet vibe, with a population of roughly 25,000 people. It's home to the National Assembly, various embassies, and several educational institutions. Though Belize City remains the commercial and cultural hub, Belmopan symbolizes resilience and thoughtful urban planning in response to natural disaster. Fact 10. The Great Blue Hole, a sinkhole so massive you can see it from space. Located near Lighthouse Reef Atoll, the Great Blue Hole is one of the most iconic natural landmarks in Belize, and arguably the world. This massive, nearly circular sinkhole is over 1,000 feet wide and plunges to a depth of about 400 feet, formed during the last ice age when sea levels were lower. It was made famous in 1971 when Jacques Cousteau explored it aboard the Calypso and declared it one of the top 10 dive sites on the planet. Divers descend through layers of clear blue water to find giant stalactites, limestone caverns, and eerie silence. From the air, the deep navy circle surrounded by turquoise water looks like something from another world. It's even visible from space. Marine life is surprisingly minimal inside the hole, but the surrounding reef teems with sharks, tropical fish, and coral. For thrill seekers, it's an adrenaline-filled dive. For everyone else, it's an awe-inspiring natural wonder. Few places on Earth blend geology, mystery, and visual drama quite like the Great Blue Hole. Fact 11. Cocksomb Basin, the world's only jaguar preserve. Deep in the Belizean rainforest lies the Cocksomb Basin Wildlife Sanctuary, the only dedicated jaguar preserve in the world. Established in 1990, this protected area spans over 150 square miles and serves as a safe haven for an estimated 200 wild jaguars. These elusive big cats are rarely seen, but the sanctuary plays a crucial role in preserving their habitat and supporting long-term survival. Beyond jaguars, Cocksomb is home to ocelots, pumas, howler monkeys, tapirs, and hundreds of bird species, making it a biodiversity hotspot. The reserve is also a research site, where scientists monitor animal populations and study rainforest ecology. Well-maintained hiking trails, waterfalls, and rivers allow visitors to explore the jungle without disturbing the wildlife. The sanctuary was originally inspired by the work of Alan Rabinowitz, a renowned zoologist and big cat conservationist. For nature lovers, Cocksomb is a living example of Belize's deep commitment to environmental protection and species conservation. Fact 12. Belize's Cayes, over 450 islands of paradise. Scattered along the coast of Belize are over 450 tiny islands, locally known as Cayes, pronounced Keys. These islands range from tiny sandbars to larger inhabited islands like Ambergris Caye and Caye, each with its own vibe and rhythm. Many of the Cayes are part of the Belize Barrier Reef Reserve System, a UNESCO World Heritage Site teeming with coral, fish, and marine life. The outer Cayes, built on coral atolls, offer some of the clearest diving and snorkeling waters in the Caribbean. Others are uninhabited and serve as nesting grounds for birds or marine turtles. Transportation between Cayes is often done via small boats or ferries, adding to their off-the-grid charm. Whether you're into scuba diving, island hopping, or sipping rum under a palm tree, the Cayes of Belize offer an idyllic escape. They form the soul of Belize's laid-back island culture, where time slows down and turquoise water is never far away. Fact 13. The legacy of the Maya, 900 ancient temples. Belize is dotted with the remnants of a powerful ancient civilization, the Maya, who left behind nearly 900 temple sites across the country. These include awe-inspiring ruins like Kriol, a massive city once home to over 100,000 people, and Lamanai, which was continuously occupied for more than 2,000 years. Smaller sites like Zunantunik, Altunha, and Lubantun offer unique architectural styles, carvings, and ceremonial structures. Many temples remain partly buried under thick jungle, lending an air of mystery to every stone. Archaeologists continue to uncover new sites, some of which are still unexplored and undocumented. What's remarkable is that many temples are open to visitors, allowing you to climb ancient pyramids and gaze across the forest canopy just as Maya kings once did. These ruins reflect the scientific, spiritual, and political sophistication of the Maya, from astronomy and agriculture to ritual sacrifice. In Belize, the past is not buried, it's etched into the landscape. Fact 14. Belize City, the historic heart of the nation. Situated at the mouth of the Belize River, Belize City is the country's largest urban center and its main seaport. With an estimated population of around 79,600, it is the economic, cultural, and transport hub of the nation. Originally founded in the mid-17th century by British lumber harvesters, it served as the capital of British Honduras until Hurricane Hattie devastated the city in 1961. Despite no longer being the capital, Belize City remains the most influential metropolis in the country. Its architecture reflects colonial-era history, with wooden houses on stilts, seaside swing bridge, which is still manually operated. The city hosts government offices, commercial banks, museums, and the country's busiest port, making it a lifeline for trade and tourism. It's also the gateway to Belize's Cayes, with water taxis and ferries departing daily. Though it has faced challenges with urban development and occasional flooding, Belize City remains the pulse of modern Belize. Fact 15. A reef teeming with over 400 fish species. Stretching an impressive 185 miles, the Belize Barrier Reef is the second largest in the world. Only Australia's Great Barrier Reef is bigger. This living wall of coral and marine life supports over 400 species of fish, making it one of the most biodiverse aquatic ecosystems on the planet. Among its residents are parrotfish, angelfish, groupers, nurse sharks, stingrays, and even elusive manatees. The reef's vibrant health is essential not only for marine life, but also for local fishing communities, tourism, and coastal protection. It was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1996, though parts of it have faced threats from climate change and development. The government and conservation groups have since taken significant steps to protect it, including banning bottom trawling and offshore oil drilling near the reef. Snorkelers and divers flock to sites like Hol Chan, Glover's Reef, and the famous Great Blue Hole, where underwater visibility can reach up to 100 feet. Swimming through this reef is like gliding through an endless tropical aquarium, stunning, surreal, and unforgettable. Fact 16. Time in Belize always central, never changing. Belize operates on Central Standard Time, CST, year-round, with no daylight saving time adjustments. That means when much of North America is springing forward or falling back, Belize simply stays the same. This time, consistency is a small but welcome convenience for both locals and visitors, eliminating the hassle of clock changes. The country's fixed time zone places it in sync with cities like Chicago and Mexico City during standard time months. However, during daylight saving time in the US, Belize becomes 1 hour behind cities like New York. For businesses, especially in tourism, this fixed time structure helps streamline international communication and bookings. It's also a reflection of the country's laid-back Caribbean lifestyle, where things move at a relaxed, reliable pace. In Belize, the sun still rules the rhythm of life, just as it has for centuries. Fact 17. The roar of the black howler monkey. One of the most unforgettable sounds in the Belizean jungle is the thunderous call of the black howler monkey, known locally as the baboon. These monkeys are among the top 10 loudest animals on Earth, with vocalizations that can be heard up to 3 miles away. Their eerie, guttural howls serve as territorial warnings and are often mistaken by first-time visitors for distant thunder or large predators. Found mainly in protected forests like the Community Baboon Sanctuary, black howlers are a conservation success story in Belize. They live in small family groups and spend most of their lives high in the trees, rarely touching the ground. These primates are entirely herbivorous, feeding on young leaves, fruits, and flowers, and play a crucial role in seed dispersal and forest health. Despite their fierce vocal presence, they are gentle by nature and shy around humans. For eco-travelers and wildlife lovers, hearing them howl in the misty morning is one of Belize's most primal and unforgettable experiences. Fact 18. Belize's natural wonders have the coolest names. Belize is home to some of the most exotically named creatures and plants in the natural world, each one sounding like something out of a fantasy novel. Take the owl-eye butterfly, with wing patterns that mimic the eyes of an owl to scare off predators. Then there's the shimmering blue morpho butterfly, which flashes iridescent blue as it flutters through the jungle. Equally dazzling is the swallowtail cattle heart butterfly, named for its deep red and black heart-shaped markings. The forests also shelter the bizarre peanut-head lantern bug, with its peanut-shaped head and glowing body that has baffled scientists for years. Among Belize's bird life is the striking red-footed booby, which nests on remote Cayes and dazzles with its bright feet and aerial skills. Botanists and romantics alike will appreciate the Lady of the Night orchid, a national treasure that releases its fragrance only after dusk. And if you're into bats, don't miss the false vampire bat, completely harmless despite its gothic name. In Belize, even the names of its flora and fauna are full of wild character and tropical mystery. Fact 19. 1 million visitors and most of them are American. Despite being a relatively small country, Belize welcomes close to 1 million tourists every year, a testament to its growing appeal as a tropical paradise. What's more striking is that roughly 70% of those visitors are Americans, drawn by the country's English-speaking population, laid-back Caribbean vibe, and easy access via direct flights. Many arrive on cruise ships, docking at Belize City, while others come by air to explore the jungle, reef, or ancient Maya ruins. Tourism has become a pillar of the Belizean economy, providing thousands of jobs in hospitality, transport, and conservation. Popular destinations include Ambergris Caye, Placencia, San Ignacio, and the Great Blue Hole, each catering to different styles of travel, from luxury retreats to eco-adventures. With such a high percentage of North American visitors, Belize offers US dollar-friendly pricing, familiar cuisine, and services tailored for English speakers. Yet, it still retains its authentic local character, which is what makes the experience unique. It's no surprise Belize has quickly become one of Central America's top travel destinations. Fact 20. A temple is still the tallest building in Belize. Despite Belize's independence and modern development, the country's tallest structure remains an ancient Maya pyramid called Cana, located at the Kriol archaeological site. Cana means sky palace in the Mayan language, and the structure rises about 140 feet, 43 meters, above the jungle canopy. Built over 1,300 years ago, it served as a royal palace and ceremonial center for Maya elites. Visitors today can still climb to the top, where panoramic views of the surrounding Chiquibul forest reveal just how vast and powerful this ancient city once was. Belize's modern buildings, even government ones, tend to remain low-rise, partly due to tradition, partly due to zoning regulations, and partly due to practicality in a hurricane-prone region. The fact that a pre-Columbian pyramid still holds this title is a poetic reminder of how deeply history is woven into Belize's identity. It also reflects the country's choice to preserve rather than overbuild, allowing ancient landmarks to keep their rightful place in the skyline. In Belize, the past quite literally towers over the present. If you enjoyed discovering these 20 mind-blowing facts about Belize, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Drop a comment below and let me know. Which Belize fact surprised you the most, or have you ever been there yourself? And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss another travel documentary from Andy Explores the World. We've got new videos every week, covering the most fascinating places, cultures, and hidden corners of the world. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay curious, stay adventurous, and I'll see you in the next one.